Good morning children, welcome. So this is 9th standard, second language English class, poem 7, The Song of Freedom. Dear children, in our previous classes we have learnt about the freedom fighters, how they have fought and how they have achieved freedom to our nation, isn't it? So in this poem also the poet expresses his wish and wanted to achieve freedom. He is also imagined already freedom is achieved, okay, in this poem. Let us learn more about the poet. The poem is written by C. Subramanya Bharati. He is born on 11th December 1882, Ettiyapuram, it is in Tamil Nadu. Parents were Chinnaswamy Subramanya Iyer and Yelakkumi Ammal. He was died on 12th September 1921 at Chennai. So let us learn notable works of the poet Subramanya Bharati. His three greatest works are Kuilapattu is written in the year 1912, that is called as Kuil Song. Second book Panchali Sapatham, it is written in the year 1912, that means Panchali's Vow. Thirdly, Kannan Pattu, it is written in the year 1917. This is about songs of Krishna. Let us learn more about Subramanya Bharati. Chinnaswamy Subramanya Bharati was a writer, poet, journalist, Indian independence activist and social reformer from Tamil Nadu. Popularly known as Mahakavi Bharatiyar, he is a pioneer of modern Tamil poetry. He who writes poetry is not a poet, he whose poetry has become his life and who has made his life his poetry. It is he who is a poet. Subramanya Bharati is the real poet who fulfill this definition. Dear children, this poem is written in Tamil, but it is translated to English by Dr. Prema Nandakumar. Dr. Prema Nandakumar is an independent researcher publishing critical and biographical works. She is also a creative writer in Tamil and English. Okay children, so before going to the poem, I will make you watch a video that is about a story. There lived a young wolf named Alaska with his friends, the birds, bunnies, the bears and the snakes. One morning, birds went to Alaska's home to invite him for playing, but lazy Alaska was still asleep. The birds told him that they had found new mango trees. If he doesn't come, he will miss the tastiest mangoes they have ever had. As the Alaska birds, snakes, bears and bunnies reached the mango forest, they thought it was too early for breakfast and decided to play hide and seek for some time. But Alaska was feeling hungry and wanted to have sweet mangoes. Then the birds apologetically told that the mango season is 3 months away. We just wanted to play with you. The wolf accepted the apology and happily played with his friends, running and teasing each other. As the winter set in, the birds migrated, the snakes went into hibernation, and the bunnies too retreated into their little burrows to keep away from the cold. The beautiful trees and grasses got covered in a thick blanket of snow, and there was nothing left to eat. Tired and hungry Wolf wandered into the forest looking for food. Wolf met Bunny on the way. They played with snowballs and skated on the frozen river for a while. As the wolf was cold and hungry, he walked into a village in a very bad mood. He saw something that shocked the life out of him in a house. A dog was sleeping in front of fire to whom food was brought. Seeing that, Wolf's mouth was watering. The dog gobbled up the food happily and fell asleep. Wolf imagined how his life would have been if he was in the dog's place. He watched the dog from far all day, and then towards evening the dog come out of the house into the front yard. Wolf called out him. Dog saw him and said, "A wolf in the village," and felt sorry for him as the wolf was starving, and felt blessed for his beautiful life, full of food and warmth and comfort. Dog asked the wolf, "Would you like to stay here with me?" "It will be nice. My owner wants a new pet." Wolf asked, "What do you mean by owner?" The dog replied, "The humans who own me and they want me to be with them." Dog told he was lonely. Wolf advised him to go into the forest to meet his family. Dog replied he was not allowed to go anywhere alone, which means no running in the wind, no hide and seek with friends, no splashing in the lake, no fighting with friends, said the wolf. Dog asked, "You get to do all that?" Dog requested the wolf to stay with him. But the wolf didn't want to lose his freedom to be fed in a prison, so the wolf went back to beautiful forest. Dear children, Wolf Alaska wanted to lead freedom life. I hope, dear children, you enjoyed the story. Yes. Now let us learn about the gist of the poem. The well-known Tamil poet Subramanya Bharati used poem as his medium to awaken the slumbering people of India. ಅಂದರೆ ನಿದ್ದೆಯಲ್ಲಿದ್ದಂತಹ ಭಾರತೀಯರನ್ನು ಎಚ್ಚರಗೊಳಿಸೋದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಇವರು ಕವಿತೆಯನ್ನು ಶಸ್ತ್ರವನ್ನಾಗಿ ಬಳಸ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತಾರೆ. Poet asks us to have the feeling that all are born equal and have equal rights to work hard for development of our country. Even though he born in an higher caste, he is having an opinion of all are equal, no casteism should be followed. Yes. The poet imagines the plowman and the worker will get honor in free India. See here, the poet is imagining. Actually, the poet died in the year 1921 itself, but he forethought that India achieved. So he imagined that India already achieved the independence. So he thinking that, and he has written this poem very beautifully. Okay, in his poem he gives, so the people like plowman, that means farmer, and the worker are getting honor in free India, giving call to have the patriotic feelings and not allow the foreigners to enslave us again. ಹಾಗೆ ಅವ್ರು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, ನಾವು ಮತ್ತೊಮ್ಮೆ ರಾಷ್ಟ್ರೀಯ ಭಾವನೆಗಳನ್ನ ಇಟ್ಕೋಬೇಕು, ಮತ್ತೊಮ್ಮೆ ಗುಲಾಮ್ಗಿರಿಗೆ ನಾವು ಹೋಗಬಾರ್ದು ಅಂತ. ಆ್ಯಸ್ ಇಫ್ ಈಸ್ ಇಮ್ಯಾಜಿನಿಂಗ್ ದಟ್ ದ ಇಂಡಿಪೆಂಡೆನ್ಸ್ ಈಸ್ ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಅಚೀವ್ಡ್, ಬಟ್ he died in the year 1921 itself. That is the forethought of the poet. Okay children, now let me recite the poem, The Song of Freedom. Dear students, open page number 134. I will recite the poem The Song of Freedom.
This is the hour of song and dance, for blissful freedom is ours at last. Gone are those days of caste-born pride, gone is the foreigner's might. Gone is passive subservience, gone is the trickster's sway. Freedom is our universal speech, equality the experienced grace. We will blow the conch of victory and publish the truth to all. We see that all are equal born, now lie and deceit are dead. Only the good men are great, ruin has ceased and wicked. Honor to the ploughman and the worker, shame to the glutton and the rake. We will not water the wastelands, nor sweat for the idler's well. We have learned that this is our own land, it will be forever ours. No nation shall enslave us again. We will prosper serving God, our sole Lord. Okay, children. Now let's understand the poem. Let us look into the glossary words. Blissful, extremely happy and peaceful. ಕನ್ನಡ ಅರ್ಥ ವಿದ್ಯಾರ್ಥಿಗಳೇ ಆನಂದಮಯ. Lunch by a side of river was blissful experience. Yes, let us move to next glossary word. Subservience, a state in which you do whatever someone else wants you to do. ಕನ್ನಡ ಅರ್ಥ ಅಧೀನತೆ. Subservience was expected from children by some parents. Next word is trickster. Meaning is power or influence of one who deceives or cheats people. Yes, ಅದನ್ನು ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಮೋಸಗಾರ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. The robber was a clever trickster who tried to fool police was killed. So let us move to next glossary word, conch. Meaning is the shell of a sea animal which produces a sound when you blow it. ಕನ್ನಡದಕ್ಕೆ ಶಂಖ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. Shri Krishna and Arjuna blow the conch as a symbol of victory. Next glossary word, deceit. Behavior that is deliberately intended to mislead people. ಕನ್ನಡ ಅರ್ಥ ಮೋಸ ಅಥವಾ ಕಪಟ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. ಭಗತ್ ಸಿಂಗ್ revolted against deceit of the Britishers. Okay, now let us move to next glossary word, glutton. Meaning is one who eats too much in a greedy way. ಕನ್ನಡದಕ್ಕೆ ಹೊಟ್ಟೆ ಬಾಕ ಅನ್ನೋ ಅರ್ಥ ಇದೆ. Uncle Mahesh was a glutton who ate everything in sight. Next glossary word, rake. So meaning is one who behaves in an immoral way, gambling, drinking, etc. Dear students, the meaning in Kannada is ಗೋರು, ಗುಡ್ಡೆ ಮಾಡು. Yes. The privatization allowed companies to rake in huge profits. Okay, children, let us move to next glossary word, soul. Exclusive, being one only. So Kannada meaning is ಏಕಮಾತ್ರ, ಏಕೈಕ ಅರ್ಥವನ್ನು ಕೊಡುತ್ತೆ ಈ ಪದ. The banks are sole finance provider to industries. Okay, children, let me summarize the poem. Okay, yes, the poet visualized freedom before actual independence. Freedom is celebrated with songs and dance. So earlier in the class I have told the poet visualized freedom before actual independence. Freedom is celebrated with songs and dance. Indians fought for the freedom unitedly. No trickster could play to divide us. The poet says that the days of caste-born pride are gone. The poet visualizes the freedom is universal speech. Equality is the experienced grace. This poem is description of a glorious India. Poet asks us to have the feeling that all are born equal and have equal rights to work hard for the development of our country. According to poet, the plowman and the worker will get honor in free India, giving call to have the patriotic feelings and not to allow the foreigners to enslave us again. Yes, even though we didn't achieve the independence, so he is assuming that as if we have achieved the independence. Let us look into the literary devices in this poem, or what are the figures of speech we notice in this poem. In this poem, we can find three kinds of figures of speech. They are imagery, anaphora and alliteration. Okay. So, three poetic devices we can notice in this poem. So, let us learn one by one what is imagery, what is anaphora, what is alliteration. Yes children, you are already learned imagery in the first poem itself. Yes, now let us look into imagery. What is imagery? Imagery is a language used by poets, novelists and other writers to create images in the mind of the reader. Imagery includes figurative and metaphorical language to improve the reader's experience through their senses. Yes children. So, we are using figures of speech to enrich the beauty of the language. Yes. So, the types of imagery are visual imagery, second one auditory imagery, third one olfactory imagery, fourth one gustatory imagery, fifth one tactile imagery. Yes, we can find 5 types of imageries. Okay. So, in this poem we have witnessed visual imagery. Yes. Let us go to examples in the text. This is the hour of song and dance, for blissful freedom is ours at last. Okay. So, when we read this stanza, one picture will come in front of our eyes. So, that is image. Yes, yes, we can notice this image, isn't it? This is the hour of song and dance, for blissful freedom is ours at last. So, let us move to one more example from out of text. William Wordsworth has written a poem, I wandered lonely as a cloud. This is for example of visual imagery. See, the poem is like this, I wandered lonely as a cloud that floats on high over vales and hills, when all at once I saw a crowd, a host of golden daffodils. Beside the lake, beneath the trees, fluttering and dancing in the breeze. Far off, when on my couch I lie in vacant or in pensive mood, thy flash upon the inward eye, which is the bliss of solitude, and then my heart with pleasures fills and dances with the daffodils. When we read this poem, so a picture of daffodils come into our mind and they are dancing and their colors also can imagine, isn't it? Yes. Okay children, let us move to another literary device, that is anaphora. Anaphora is a figure of speech in which words repeat at the beginning of successive clauses, phrases or sentences. Anaphora is used to express emotion and to emphasizing ಆರ್ ಅಫರ್ಮಿಂಗ್ ಎ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಐಡಿಯಾ. ಕವಿಯ ಭಾವನೆಗಳನ್ನು ಅಥವಾ ಏನಾದರೂ ಒಂದು ಅಂಶವನ್ನು ಒತ್ತು ಕೊಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಅನಫೋರ ಒಂದು ಫಿಗರ್ ಆಫ್ ಸ್ಪೀಚನ್ನು ಕವಿ ಬಳಸ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತಾರೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ನೋಡೋಣ. ಗಾನ್ ಆರ್ ದೋಸ್ ಡೇಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ ಬಾರ್ನ್ ಪ್ರೈಡ್, ಗಾನ್ ಈಸ್ ದ ಫಾರಿನರ್ಸ್ ಮೈಟ್, ಗಾನ್ ಈಸ್ ಪ್ಯಾಸಿವ್ ಸಬ್ಸರ್ವಿಯನ್ಸ್, ಗಾನ್ ಈಸ್ ದ ಟ್ರಿಕ್ಸ್ಟರ್ಸ್ ವೇ. ಎಸ್ ಚಿಲ್ಡ್ರನ್, see here the poet is emphasizing a point. Gone, gone, gone ಅಂದರೆ ಹೊರಟೋಯ್ತು, ಅವೆಲ್ಲ ಹೋಯ್ತಿದ್ದೆ. ಏನು, ಬ್ರಿಟಿಷ್ ಆಳ್ವಿಕೆ ಹೋಯ್ತು, ನಾವೆಲ್ಲರೂ ಕೂಡ ಈಗ ಫ್ರೀಡಮ್ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ, ನಾವು ಯಾರೋ ಅಧೀನರು ಅಲ್ಲ, ಯಾರೊಬ್ಬರು ನಮ್ಮನ್ನು ಟ್ರಿಕ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕಾಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಹೀಗೆ ದ ಪೊಯೆಟ್ ಟ್ರೈ ಟು ಎಂಫಸೈಸ್ ಎ ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಐಡಿಯಾ, ದಟ್ಸ್ ವೈ ದಿಸ್ ಅನಫೋರಾ ಈಸ್ ಯೂಸ್ಡ್ ಹಿಯರ್. ಎಸ್, ಸೊ ಲೆಟ್ ಮಿ ಟೇಕ್ another example from out of text. Here there is a season, turn, 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 and a time to every purpose under heaven, a time to be born, a time to die, a time to plant, a time to reap, a time to kill, a time to heal, a time to laugh, a time to weep. So here the poet wants to emphasize turn and a time. The poet used these words repeatedly. Let us move to next poetic device, alliteration. In alliteration, words that begin with the same sound are placed close together. Although alliteration often involves a repetition of letters, most importantly it is a repetition of sounds. Yes, example. In text, we see that all are equal born, now lie and deceit are dead, only the good men are great, ruin has ceased and wicked. So here deceit, dead, good, great. Honor to the plowman and the worker, shame to the glutton and the rake, we will not water the wastelands nor sweat for the idler's well. Yes, here va sound is repeated again and again. Yes, in this stanza we will learn that this is our own land, it will be for ours, no nation shall enslave us again, we will prosper serving God our sole Lord. Here la sound is repeated.
Dear students, alliteration makes poems more memorable. Here Thomas Hardy creates rhythm in his poem In a Whispering Garden by combining several examples of alliteration such as the sound in spirit, speaking, spell, spot, splendid and soul. As an example, we have one stanza here. That whisper takes the voice of a spirit speaking to me close but invisible and throws me under a spell. At the kindling vision it brings. Next stanza. And for a moment I rejoice and believe in transcendent things that would make of this muddy earth a spot for the splendid birth of everlasting lives, where to no night arrives.
Okay, now let us check the understanding. Let me know how far you have understood the poem. What does the poet want to celebrate in the poem The Song of India? Yes, the poet wants to celebrate the freedom of our country in the poem The Song of India. How does the poet wants to celebrate the freedom of our country? The poet wants to celebrate the freedom of our country with song and dance. So let me move to the next question. What does the poet mean by the universal speech? According to poet, the universal speech means freedom. Yes, let us move to next question. What according to the poet is experienced grace? Yes, according to the poet, equality is the experienced grace. Who according to the poet will get honor in free India? Yes, according to the poet, plowman and the worker will get honor in free India.
I would like to give credits to the following web sources. Dear students, scan QR code given in page number 133. Get more information about poem. Watch again the class on YouTube channel.
Now it is the time for home assignment. Okay children, first question. Write the summary of the poem The Song of Freedom in your own words. Write the summary of the poem The Song of Freedom in your own words. Second question. List out 2 each examples for the following figures of speech from the textbook: imagery, anaphora and alliteration. Okay. So, dear children, I hope you enjoyed the class very well. Thank you. Thank you once again.